Welcome everybody to today's Modern Sales Mastery Show. As always, I am the man behind the scenes, social media coordinator and event coordinator here at Vengreso, Felipe Gonzalez. I welcome everybody, and please let us know in the comments below where you're tuning in from, and we're going to get this show started. So I am going to introduce your event show host and the guest at the same time, as they happen to be at the same place at the same time right now. So please help me welcome Viveka and Bernadette. Welcome, ladies.
Hey,
hello.
Thanks, Philippe. Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Welcome, everybody, to today's show, which is live with my friend Bernadette. Hello. And we have to remember to look at the screen and nod at each other.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So this is the first, actually it's the second where I've had a live guest sitting right next to me. Take that, COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Live events are back.
They are back. And Bernadette is from, as you can hear, Australia, but she's actually moved here to the US of A. So we'll maybe talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah.
And the whole, virtual business, you don't have to be in Australia to run your business.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Totally. All global now.
All
very
global.
Exciting.
So actually, let's talk about that a little bit. What happened when you decided, okay, I'm going to move? Like, why did you decide to move?
Yeah.
We're totally off script. These are not the questions.
But yeah, good question. So it was probably, 3 years ago. It was before COVID.
Yep.
And I come over to the States every year.
Yeah.
And it was a case of, you know what, in the world of selling, it's really a great place to be.
Yeah.
Great networks, great opportunities.
Exactly.
And the actual love of the profession of selling is very, very strong over here.
Yeah.
And so my husband and I, we decided to investigate, and then we got the approval just before COVID hit, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited. And of course, the immigration policy shifted as well. And then it was late November last year, we got an email from the consulate saying that your interview was on the middle of December.
Yeah.
And Tim and I looked at each other and we said, do we or don't we? And we said, let's do it. So we're kind of having our mature gap years.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And settled in beautiful Colorado. And we just know we're going to love it.
Well, and I think not only the international companies that you're already working with, but the local as in the US are very honored and will be very happy to have you talk about sales. And you were just in California. You were just in Los Angeles. Tell us a little bit about what you were talking about there.
Yeah. So last week at the Sales Innovation Expo at the LA Convention Center, we got a four-legged friend down here.
My dog Cal is all over Bernadette right now. He's trying to get our attention.
He's beautiful. So and I spoke at the expo over there, and my topic was around getting to yes without the stress, because we're coming out of an environment that has been so stressful. And how do we win more business, and what needs to shift the most?
Exactly.
So so that was my theme, if you like, and I think we'll pull a few ideas from that out today.
Okay. So. Well, let's go to the first official question. My dog is being super cute right now. I should take the camera, and he's all like, hello, no, pay attention to me. Forget her. Pay attention to me. Okay, let's go to the first question though. So a lot of salespeople, he's really going nuts down here. A lot of salespeople, in order to get the sale, discount. So that's not great if you're trying to increase your bottom line or decrease your bottom line, whatever that is.
Yep.
So how can you keep people and your salespeople from discounting all the time?
And I think now as well, like, business is opening up again now.
Yeah.
And, pipelines are kind of stagnant a little bit. Numbers are going up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think we've got to be really mindful of holding our value, being able to have those conversations.
Yeah.
But it's human nature. We default to,
we don't know where to look.
Least resistance. And in a lot of cases, that's dropping our pants.
Yeah.
It's dropping the price.
Yeah.
And I think a lot that we need to consider, and my bent in the sales space is pretty strong from a psychology perspective, because you know, I think you can have as much sales training as you can get. Yeah. But if certain fundamentals aren't there or aren't strong enough, it's just a complete waste of time. One of those is money. Yeah. You know,
that is really, that's so key.
It truly is. And this is probably one of the biggest areas that I see salespeople sabotaging themselves is around their beliefs around money. Yeah. I mean, you've just got to think of how a lot of us have grown up. Yeah. You know, we've grown up with mantras that are, you know, like, money doesn't grow on trees. You know, for me, my mum would say, Bernadette, you know what? Money doesn't grow on trees, or 4 words. And I don't know if you can relate to this. 4 words, we can't afford it. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
And,
exactly.
And one of the stories that I tell is, you know, Tim and I, I know this is a little bit personal here. We might be a little bit too much information, but for years, when we have run out of toilet paper, okay, but it's true. We say, looks like we're poor again. But if you think about, you know, where you put your focus, it's like poor. Right. And then again, which means that we've always been poor.
And that you're going to be not only now, but again in the future. Right. And and it's just little things like that slip out of your mouth.
Totally. So you want to hear what we say now?
Yeah.
Thank God we're rich.
Thank God we're rich. We can buy more toilet paper.
But it's how you talk to yourself about money as well.
It is 100%.
Yeah. And so I would ask, you know, those of you listening, to just ask yourself, you know, what do you think a lot of money is? Right. You know, because if you think, you know, $100, $1,000, $10,000 is a lot of money, but you're selling something that's $100,000.
So
you
true.
know, there's going to be a disconnect. And so how do you overcome that?
Well, it's interesting because back when I had linked into business, before we started Vengresso, one of our current clients was a prospect of mine. And I created a program similar to what we do at Vengresso and offered it for $20,000, which would have been at that point the biggest to date. They didn't take it because I didn't charge enough. Yeah. You know, that same client, we're well over 6 figures with. So it's just interesting. But my mindset, 20,000 was a lot. I mean, you know, for Mario, 20,000 isn't worth getting out of bed for. So, but it's that mindset is so important. And your salespeople really do have to have that abundance mindset before they ever go into selling. And I don't know how many companies, I would guess most don't have any kind of training around or any way of sussing out what a person's consciousness is. Correct. Are they poverty consciousness? Are they prosperity consciousness? Yeah. And what is that number that's too big?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and if you start to openly talk about money at home as well, because a lot of people don't. Right. You know, but it's really interesting. I think the biggest I guess encouragement that I would give you is to let the buyer say no to the amount of money. Is like, don't you do it on their behalf because of what you think.
So guilty of that too.
So that's a big thing.
It is. I have done that before, not anymore, of course, but I remember going into, and you know, you do your research hopefully ahead of time, and you should know how big the company is and things like that from LinkedIn, but going in and just the assumption that they couldn't afford this program, or just the assumption that, you know, their budget was this, but not knowing it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that, what a way to cut yourself off at the knees.
And also having those conversations, you know, like conversations around ROI or asking for, you know, the numbers or the budget or going a little bit deeper. It really impacts all of those things. If you have this whole issue around money, which you probably don't realize you have.
Yeah. I mean, truly, your point about, oh, here we are, we're poor again. I mean, think about your own self-talk. I'm poor, I'm fat, I never will. And we've got that ongoing commentary, and to step outside of yourself and kind of listen in to that ongoing commentary. And how is that holding you back from being successful?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. And I don't think many sales leaders go, I wonder what my sales team's self-talk is.
Yeah, because they've got it as well. Sales leaders have got it. And that's why you're letting your people discount, or that's why you're not able to counteract, when they do want to. So it's a big issue.
That's really interesting. So I'd be interested from our audience. Let us know in comments. You don't have to tell us what your self-talk is unless you want to, but are you guilty of this? I think the answer should be yes for everybody, probably.
Yeah.
Are you guilty of that self-talk? Have you ever thought about it and how it's affecting not only your home life, but your business life as well? And also what's true, like toilet paper, what's true within your own business is probably, or within your own family, probably expands into the business world too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And being able to receive money is a big thing. And not getting mixed up with, gosh, I'm taking this money off my client. But being able to have a really strong conversation around value exchange, and realizing that it's okay to receive money. It's just such a nice
it's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's energy.
And business needs people to buy and sell and buy and receive and give and receive and give. So,
that energy needs to keep. I mean, if someone stops up that energy by not receiving or not giving, then
your pipelines
stuffs
up.
Exactly. Exactly. It might sound woo-woo, but really it affects the pipeline.
It is woo-woo. I mean, it isn't, but it is for those that think it is. But it's an important woo-woo.
It is. It is. You 100% have to get into that more prosperity consciousness if you're a seller.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason why, sometimes, like I'm thinking about, again, myself, and I just had this realization, like back when I learned how to sell, I was selling cars and medical equipment, and nothing was over 100K. And so, of course, when I moved into my own business, I never sold anything that was over 100,000. And I had a couple 6K year or, 100,000 plus years, but I think it's because I've been used to selling. We cap it. I had capped it at some level. And then of course, Vengresso, now you've got the mind share of people who are, 7-figure and 8-figure sales. That's really interesting. I never thought of that before. So for our salespeople listening, is something that you used to sell in the past holding you back from selling the bigger ticket item today?
Absolutely.
And for our sales leaders, that's something to be aware of. It's not that someone who sells smaller ticket items won't make a good salesperson. Because selling is selling, and they absolutely could, but you would have to dive a little bit deeper into that consciousness, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. That's very cool.
So there you go.
There we go. All right. We're going to go to a commercial a little bit early, and then we'll get into another topic, except for, I think, for Felipe, are you on? Or it looks like you might be having issues with no, he's here. He's here. All right, Felipe, go ahead and roll that video if you would. right, and we're back. We're like giving Kim commentary on the fly message video. Good job, team. Good job. Okay, so different direction. A lot of times businesses focus on testimonials, case studies. Why are maybe case studies not? I mean, I know we do. So why? Listen up, marketing team. Why are case studies sometimes not so effective?
Yeah, well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. When you read a case study, who is it about?
Another company.
Is it?
It's about my company.
Yeah.
Well, it is a marketing piece. I mean, it's literally our marketing team that puts the case studies together.
And, you know, I've been guilty of this.
Yeah.
If you go in and look at a case study, it predominantly is about your company leveraging
somebody else's
client.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But the whole guts of the case study is about how good you are.
And the time, how good we are and why we got the results we got with that particular client.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So it's just a tiny little nuance, a tiny little shift. Well, and we've heard this word, you know, multiple times in the sales space, and it's getting more and more, you know, momentum, but it's storytelling.
Yeah.
So if you're able to craft a success story about your client.
Okay.
And if you consider the hero's journey, which is Joseph Campbell's model for storytelling, which, you know, Star Wars,
all
of those big
the
ones
whole brand story thing.
On.
Yep.
It's all about, you know, the ordinary world, or it's all about the client.
Yeah.
So who is the client? And then you are the mentor, or you
We're
are
Yoda.
the guide.
Right.
That's right. How did you guys meet? What was the problem?
Yeah.
So it's all focused and it's a story.
So the buyer or your client needs to be the hero and you're just Yoda.
Correct. Absolutely. And so when you can get a structure that has to have a business point, a valid business point, but a time and a place, got to have the character, and the character is not you. And so when you can do that, your prospective client should be able to see themselves.
We keep doing this.
I know. I'm so
sorry. We'll just look at the camera.
Rookie error.
I'm like, anyway, she was making a really good point too.
It was that your prospective client should be able to see themselves in that character. And so what we typically tend to do is we say, you know, we are this, and this is our client, and this is what we did.
Right.
And it's all about us.
It's about us, and our clients just like, they're an extra. They're an extra in their own story.
Totally. This is so hard not to turn my head.
I know.
So I'm working with a company at the moment where they're senior technical officers.
Yeah.
Because this company wants to become a storytelling company, because that's how they're going to get the edge.
Right.
And so hearing and seeing the difference, and also in the confidence of the salespeople or the technical officers is huge, because stories tap into our emotions.
Right. 100%.
And most of us are storytellers.
Yeah.
And if we can just kind of tweak that to have a business message and metrics and all the rest of it, that'll go a lot further than
we can look at each other once in a while
than just a stock standard case study. So you know, to be able to do that, and that's also a great way for you to market yourself as well, is to be able to tell stories and not just talk about product or specs or feeds and speeds and all the rest of it.
In fact, it's funny, the first commercial that we play is it's the story, but it's not the story of Vengresso. It's the story of our client and the goals that they can achieve.
There you go.
Right. And yes, fly message, but it's poppy, so it's okay that we show the features.
I mean,
and we do focus on the fact that you'll be able to do more. But
totally, there's your business point.
And it's not just about but that's really interesting. And I wonder how many people are consciously doing testimonials or case studies that are with the actual client being the hero of the story.
And how many actually aren't doing anything. And so that's the other thing is, to have
Yeah.
the bravery to go to a client
Yeah.
with a great question that I get my clients to ask
Yeah.
is, what is the business value? How can
Yeah.
you tell me,
Mhm.
share with me,
Right.
what is the business value that I
Okay.
have bought your business
Right.
since working with you? Not just, like Viveka is an
Yeah.
amazing woman, she's this, she's that. No,
Yeah.
what is the business value that you have bought my business?
Yeah.
And have that conversation, because then that forms the beginning of your business case.
That's a really good point. So we should be prepping our clients in what to talk about when they talk about the testimonial. We should prep. Should we have a meeting with them ahead of time? Should we just give them some bullet points? Should we, what do you recommend to get good case studies and good testimonials from clients?
So definitely you want ROI. If you
Yeah.
can get some kind of
Yeah.
ROI,
Yeah.
in a lot of cases, or some cases, you can't get actual metrics for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But so quantitatively,
Yeah.
you can get it, but
Yeah.
qualitatively as well.
Yeah.
And how can you measure storytelling, or how
Right.
can you
Right.
measure
Right. Exactly.
really great
Yeah.
leadership?
Yeah.
So you want to be able to have that, but also
Yeah.
the way that you ask questions.
Yes.
So when I said before, what is the business value
Yeah.
that you have received by working with me?
Right.
That
right.
is it's a leading question.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's it's a presupposition. We call it a presupposition, a presup question,
Yeah.
because it is presupposing that they have got value.
Yeah.
It's presupposing they've got
when they
value
say
from you.
no, nothing, you're like, okay, so we're not going to do a testimonial today.
Yeah. Asking that kind of question,
Yeah.
what value have you got from, what value have you got from today?
Yeah.
From Viveka and I,
exactly.
automatically going to lead you to thinking of the value. And what a great way to finish the any conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
yeah, exactly.
Questions are key. And when you can, ask really solid questions, you'll get fantastic answers.
Sure. So when is a good time? When do you want to start doing this? Do you once your client starts getting results from you, once the contract has closed? When is the best time to start asking for these types of
I would
testimonials?
kind of keep this in the back of your mind throughout the entire engagement, and be looking constantly, be looking for little bits that you can reference yourself. The best time is always straight after they've said yes, straight after the install, straight after the implementation, straight after, because we're in a real and a feel good as well. Yeah. And so what's really important is when you sign any order, or install or implement or whatever happens post the order,
exactly.
You want to make sure that you have this conversation, or you want to make sure that you have a discussion about the value and kind of take them into the future, because there's nothing worse than buyer's remorse.
Exactly.
And so if you don't have any kind of conversation like this for a few weeks, you don't know what they're thinking is the next day, have I made the wrong decision? So pretty much straight after. And then that's really going to help you,
I think that is so key. And it's so funny because I think hopefully not in the bigger ticket items, but I mean, that whole, you buy something and you would think the company that sold you that item, that product, that service would be very grateful that you bought it and would want to treat you well. But so many times I think buyers just feel like they've been dropped.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't matter if it's a $5 product or a $500,000 product.
Yep.
I mean, you're their best friend up until you buy the house. You're their best friend up until you buy the car. You're their best friend up until you buy the training program.
I remember when I was back in corporate Australia, back at Xerox. Yeah. And, customer satisfaction surveys and all the rest of it would come back. And, one of the biggest responses was that once the deal was signed, and these were big ticket items, once the deal was signed, they never saw that salesperson until it was time to re-sign to, 3-4 years later. And so in the meantime, you've kind of got, they do want a relationship with you. And it's a great way to market yourself as well, because of referral and word of mouth and all the rest of it. And things are so transparent today. We really want to do the best.
Yeah,
marketing
yeah.
ourselves.
I mean,
So,
low-hanging fruit, folks. Like, why would
Yeah.
you spend all this time, money, and effort? Marketing knows this. Why would you spend all this time, money, and effort to get new clients when you have existing clients who already know, like, and trust you, hopefully, and are willing to refer you? But if you just drop them like hot tamales,
yeah.
So what are some of the ways that you've seen or done yourself effectively to keep that relationship alive between the salesperson and, because customer service will come in and help, hopefully.
Exactly.
Right. Marketing will be there, but the salesperson themselves, what are some activities or some things that you've seen salespeople do well?
I think it's simply, just keeping in touch,
Yeah.
And I know it sounds quite lame, but before coming over here, all my clients, I drove miles to see,
Wow.
a couple of them just to sit across the boardroom table.
Yeah.
And they appreciated it, just picking up the phone and letting them know what I'm doing, and still keep in touch, and they really appreciate it. And, yes, you can drop the notes in the mail and the little Christmas cards and all the rest of it, but maybe it's 2 or 3 times a year, just pick up the phone and just say, hey, shooting the breeze, how you going? How's things going? And just have that kind of a conversation.
Well, and I think from you to move this 360, right? I think for you, because you're moving to another country, different time zones, you need to let them know, I'm not dropping you. I'm still available to you. I still, I will get up at 2:00 in the morning and do a training for you.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you're not doing that at our house, but but I think it's so important. Yeah. Just to let people know you're still there. How can I help you?
It's that human, it's that human side coming out. Like, and yes, there's, you can do LinkedIn, but you can do all of the marketing, the direct mail, all the rest of it, but you know what to do there. Yeah. It's just that picking up and being human and just bringing that human element in.
You can also do things other than take pictures with these, right? So you can talk to people on them. That's crazy. I know one of the things that our friend Julie Hansen talks about, and we do too at Vengresso, is the video. And because you're actually going and seeing people, and we're 100% virtual company, so we rarely get to sit across the desk from people. But that virtual aspect is nice too, when you can't go to an office.
Absolutely. And you don't necessarily always need the camera on.
Well, I think we do, but we'll have that conversation.
Okay. I'll have that conversation with you later. Okay.
What? Not if you're doing a phone call, though.
No,
if you're doing a phone call.
That is exactly what I was thinking. Driving along. That's
definitely.
Eyes on the road.
Eyes on the road. Do not be doing a video while you're driving your car. Absolutely right. You can pick up the phone and make a phone call. Yeah.
But on that side, that video side, though, and Julie does a fantastic job as well as you guys. Yeah. It really is. And we're looking directly at the camera. Our faces are down there and her face is there. And it's concentrated effort.
It is.
But once you get into the swing of it,
you do.
It's quite easy. And it's just a matter of get over yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh my gosh. We'll do another show on getting over ourselves. It's time. Can you believe it's time?
Oh my goodness me.
Reach out to Bernadette. She is here. She can work with your company in the US. She can work with your company in Australia. She can work with your company in Germany. It doesn't matter. Anywhere. She's also willing to travel, very much so. But go check Bernadette out. We've got her LinkedIn below. So definitely click through. You can find out about her, find out about her company. And is there any last, and your book. Hello,
my book, which I don't have a copy here.
I know. I wonder.
The Art of Commercial Conversations, Drive Revenue, Increase Margin, and Sell a Difference. And it's on Amazon.
There we go. We will get a link for that. We don't have it right now, but we'll get a link for that. We'll put it into the different various chats where we're talking right now. Next week, make sure to join us. We are talking about Sales Navigator. LinkedIn has, made changes again. They always make them right in the middle of a training. Thank you so much, LinkedIn. So Sales Navigator has a lot of new changes. We'll be doing a webinar on that next week, same time, same place. See you there. Thank you so much, Bernadette. Thank you. And thank you.
I will see you later.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Felipe.
We're not sweating our numbers. We're not struggling to prospect or find customers. We're not even sweating into quarter because we're growing a foundation of A-level sales talent. We're rethinking successful habits. And we're rethinking our entire digital prospecting strategy. We're going to break records and explode our sales funnel. We're doing things differently, and we're doing things better. Better than before. Because this program showed us how to not only excel at sales, but how to become a prospecting master.